Okay, I guess everybody who wants to listen to this is already here. So I'm gonna talk about our new front-end stack, but we actually started this work already 1.5 years ago. So 1.5 years means that this is already some kind of legacy code in web development domain. But we are proud of it still. Okay, but first, a little bit about history. If you don't understand history, you can't understand in the world we live now. So, Happy or Not was started already in 2009, so there is a long history, and they started from here in Finland, and now we are already in more than 130 countries, so that's quite amazing. But the technology started, this UI started, and I'm not talking about the pattern UI there on the terminals. I'm talking about the UI our clients use to check their results and analyze the results and do maintenance task for the terminals, which questions they ask and so on. Well, the first version was written using Google Web Toolkit. Probably most of you never heard about that tool, but it was kind of cool in 2009. Well, you could code in Java to web browser. How nice is that? So, and it was live for 6 years. And in 2012, the guys, I wasn't there then, started to write the next version. It was called version 2. So it was written using CoffeeScript and this Chaplin.js. Maybe somebody has heard about Backbone, and Chaplin.js was written on top of that to make it more fancy. Okay, what happened? It wasn't that fancy, and it became an abandoned war, and Happy or Not is still probably the only company in the world using it. So, and it's still live part of it. It's in production, yes. We hate it and we love it. So with that we got it to this point, so it's not that horrible. But you start to see the picture maybe, they're not so sexy, not so productive, and so on. So in, well, 1.5 years ago we started to think what next, it's time for version 3. That's the name we call it version 3 really. So, we were thinking about complete rewrite as one option. We were scared of that because everybody knows what happens with complete rewrites. They never end up well. But we were also very frightened about not doing the rewrite, so we chose the rewrite. And before we could decide with what to start with, we had some business requirements. Whole bunch of them, and I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the most important ones and the most interesting ones, I guess. They are a bit different than, I guess most of you work in some kind of project, so you do project-based work, and we do product development, so they are completely different worlds. So I'm going to tell some requirements that most of you probably didn't think at all, but we had to think about them. So the first one is that we were already growing quite fast. I started in Happy or Not 4 years ago. There was around 20 people, and nowadays we have more than 100. And 1.5 years ago, we were already talking with world-leading investors because they wanted to get on board and invest money into us to accelerate the growth. So, as you saw in the history slides, the technologies we used, they were not too sexy. So whenever we got somebody to our office to be interviewed, and we told about these cool technologies we use, they were like, what the fuck, I don't want to work there. pardon my friends. So I don't want to work with those. That's not something cool. So to keep us growing, we thought that we need to try something new, something people like to work with. Because to get the right people on board, we need to have something they want to work with. So that's probably our most important business requirements to make the growth happen in the future as well. And then the business we live in, happy or not, kind of started it all in 2009. There wasn't anything like this instant microfeedback within almost in real time back then. There was all kinds of questionnaires and stuff like that, but nothing like this. Nothing that measures something continuously and you get the feedback instantly. And now, almost 10 years later, it's growing business. It's really huge trend in this customer experience is huge trend all around the world. Everywhere you go, it's huge trend. So we get a lot of competitors, a lot of them. Some of them local in some countries, some try to do this globally like we do, but there are a whole bunch of them, and we need to be smarter than those, faster than those, more innovative than those to still be the best one around. So we needed something that allows us to be fast even when we grow, when the team grows, there are more people on board. When the service grows complex, when there is more code, we still need to be fast. So that was one business requirement. And mobile use is growing in our key market areas. People want the feedback, the results instantly to their mobile phones. So the previous versions only worked in desktops. So we wanted to add, in the next version, we wanted to add mobile as well. So we are talking about responsive applications here. And yeah, this is the most interesting part. We have large enterprises as our clients with hundreds or thousands of terminals. And they have large systems that only work with IE8 or IE9, so something that fancy. So we thought that we need to support those, because we saw from the previous versions that, okay, our clients still use them with IE8. Interesting. So in 2017, what you gonna do about it? Write something really nasty or give them up? When we talked with the sales guys, they said, no, you need to continue supporting these guys however they want to. And we said, no, there are only a handful of these guys. Let's contact them and figure it out how we can move them to newer browsers. And we assessed it carefully. We calculated how money they generate to us, these clients. What could be the worst case that happens? So they stop using our service. And we were like, okay, then they will. But we will drop this because everybody knows that these browsers are not anything fun to work with. The funny story here is that one of our biggest clients, they used IE8. And their IT department was justifying the use of IE8 with security reasons. Yep. Okay, at that point, you know that that's an argument you can't win, so let's not go there. So, but they got hacked. Twice. So, okay, so this wasn't a requirement after all. We were proud of, we weren't too afraid of making something that could be of our clients. Okay, those were the most important business requirements. Then there were lots of interesting discussions within the team what this should be. The most interesting part of those discussions were that they weren't opinionated at all. Usually when people think about these web frameworks and everything, you get really heated discussions, what is absolutely the best, what is the right way to do it, and all kind of funny things. But I guess our team was committed to deliver value for our customers rather than using some specific technologies. Because none of these clients really don't care what we use. It can be Java, Scala in backend, TypeScript, JavaScript, CoffeeScript in the front end. They just don't care. The only thing they care about is if it delivers value for them or not. So we were committed to deliver value instead of choosing somebody's favorite framework or so. So these discussions were really easy, surprisingly easy. And the team didn't only want to build something that is targeted for programmers, because we had designers working with us. So the programmers really wanted to get the designers on board as well and embrace whatever they needed, whatever they wanted. So that was kind of interesting direction with the selection process. And of course, everybody wants to learn something new. After you have been spending years writing CoffeeScript, you really want to try something new. And also, as we are a product development company, and we are going to have this product for God knows how many years from now on. So we need to really be committed to whatever we select today, because we are going to work with it next year, year after that, and year after that. So we needed to something that people felt that they want to learn thoroughly, not just use it for once and forget it when they tried it out. We really needed this was like marriage for us. We knew it's gonna last for long. And also I felt that people also wanted to select something that they can contribute to. Not that we just don't select a framework and start using it, start getting the value out of it, but at least some people, they wanted to contribute back to the community so that we learn it and we are able to do a little improvements to it, whatever it is. So, what is this? This must be something really amazing, because I just told you these things. Okay, I consider material design as a part of the framework. Material design, if you don't know, it's the designers call it design language. I don't know what that means, so I call it design framework. It's made by Google. Well, we can call it also a component library. It contains all widgets like buttons and lists and menus and stuff like that. So it as the designers wanted to work with it, the programmers of course wanted to find out solution for it. But it turns out that most modern frameworks like React, Vue, Angular, they all have some kind of implementation for material UI. So it turns out this wasn't really limiting our options. But this was a huge improvement for our designers. And then, interesting part is that in the employee interviews, we had tons of them. We had candidates with front-end development background, and a lot of them, majority of them, had been using React. And these guys also seem to share our thoughts about what is good code, how it should be done, and they had this growth mindset and they wanted to learn something new already. So, after all, it was a no-brainer to choose React and some little tools like Redux and Redux there. There we almost started these opinionated discussions about whether or not Redux Tongue or Redux Saga is better and which is the better paradigm. But no, we stick with Redux Tongue and we are happy with it. And like I said, we were talking with the investors at that time. And at that time, React had this license, the poison pill in its license, that if we started some law dispute with Facebook, we all immediately lose the right to use React and basically all Facebook stuff. So, but in most cases, it's probably quite okay to use license like that. But we were talking with the investors and we knew that we are going to have this technical due diligence and they are going to send bunch of layers to check that everything is all right. So we had to assess the risk behind that really carefully. So that's probably something unique for us because in projects where you probably wouldn't even spend 2 seconds thinking about it. Now the poison pill is removed, so it's all good. It's MIT license. Okay, then we felt that dynamic languages don't bring us to safety in the long run to improve the code base in the long run, because everybody knows that it's really frightening to do any refactorings in, for example, large JavaScript repositories, because you never know what's gonna break. Even if you have good tests, there's always a chance that something breaks. So we felt that we need statically typed language there. So TypeScript was natural choice because it's close to JavaScript and brings the compiler in, and it helps you by telling when you did a mistake with your refactoring. So that's our amazing stack. Material design, material UIS, it's implementation for React, and then React and TypeScript. Woohoo! I'm pretty sure this was really surprising for everybody that somebody uses React these days. Okay, then some experiences with this stack. Okay, the designers love it or hate it. It depends on the day. Sometimes they feel that material design limits them, and sometimes they think it's a good thing because they don't need to reinvent every wheel. And this was interesting that it totally removed the need about talks about what size a button needs to be, how it should be placed, or whatever those opinions that really don't deliver any value for the customer. It was quite the same that the first guy said in his presentation, that if you have this component library, you don't need to argue about this meaningless stuff. And so it saves a lot of time. And also the designers brought it as a good thing that the developers are able to prototype new UIs fastly using the material design without any help from them, without any design from them. The developers can prototype something, and if it works, if the functionality works, then the designers can do their magic and finish the design and make it look actually cool. And we also feel that now we are much faster than we were previously. And we also feel that the quality is better, and it's because we are now able to safely do this refactoring because of the statically typed language. The code base keeps improving all the time, and we are not afraid of making these changes like we were previously. So choosing TypeScript was really good thing. And also people started to contribute to this project. Mostly they have been contributing to material UI right now. And they have been really happy about it, so this also contributed towards our employee satisfaction. So it's not only technology, it's way more. And the stack is actually something that lets us thrive as a team, not just as single developers. As a team that consists of developers, designers, product owners, a lot of people. So this was a good change for us. And the end is my favorite quote, that perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. This is simple, sounds simple, it is simple in reality, but it enabled us to build a complex service, be happy about it, be proud of it. We are proud of it, and we are going to continue growing with this. That's all I had in mind.
Hey, I have one question. Have you ended up forking the material UI library and bringing your own stuff into those components?
No, we have been making pull requests and they got merged in the main repository.
Ah, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Any other questions?
What's the backend? Java?
Backend, well, it started in 2009, so there is Java code left, but most of the new code we write with Scala.
You mentioned IE8 and IE9. What about IE11? Do you still support that?
We support IE11 and Edge, but we also dropped IE10.
What about IE11? Are you afraid that libraries will stop supporting that?
Well, of course, that's an option. And already when we were thinking about if we need to support IE8 or IE9, back then we already thought that, okay, if that's the case, then we fork some of these repositories or whatever and make them work with those old browsers. So I'm sure then we start contributing these features to these repositories if they accept those features anymore, or then we need to fork. But actually these new Internet Explorers are so good that I believe that there's not gonna be too much problems with them. Of course, after 5 years we don't know, but maybe then it's time for another rewrite.
Else? Okay.
Lauri, I present you with this this beautiful,
Thank you. Can I have
special,
two?
wonderful kind. What's that?
Can I have two?
You can have two. Because you're not getting the swag bag. I heard you already have a few at home. Okay. And we have one for you too, Eva. This is very special, one-of-a-kind beer made by Leo, so you have a bottle here too. All right, I'm going to turn over to you, Hani, to finish